Hey guys, in this month's top 5, I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite nonfiction books. I'm not a big reader of nonfiction. Nonfiction can be pretty hit or miss with me. So yeah, over the course of my lifetime, I have read quite enough nonfiction, I'd say. Some of it really good, some of it pretty bad. So yeah, in this video, this is personally my top 5 favorite nonfiction reads that I have read. At number 5, I have The Lady in the Tower by Alison Weir. And this piece of nonfiction is focused on Anne Boleyn, the second wife of Henry VIII. And this book is primarily just focused on the fall of Anne Boleyn, as it says here at the very bottom. So yeah, not like a life story on Anne Boleyn, literally just focusing on what led up to her being blamed and accused for the crimes that she supposedly committed. And yeah, Alison Weir just does a fantastic job exploring all those details that lead up to Anne Boleyn being imprisoned, leading up to her execution, but also not only focused on Anne Boleyn, but also talking a lot about the men who were blamed right alongside her, like her brother George Boleyn, and then like their friends and whatnot, all these guys who were accused of sleeping with the queen. And I really found this so fascinating, so well researched, and pretty emotional. I remember by the end of this book, I think I got some tears in my eyes, you guys. I think I definitely got some tears because it was certainly very emotional by the end. Just the manner in which Alison Weir, she does her research and compiles this whole beautiful narrative, and just so heartbreaking by the end because, you know, present day, our modern world, when we look back on Anne Boleyn, we tend to look back on her that she was horribly misjudged and mistreated. And the thing is, what this book explores, it explores the fact that Anne Boleyn most likely didn't do the things that she was accused of doing. At number 4, I have In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. I first read this book in a college course, and oh my god, I was so blown away with this work. The thing is, it doesn't really read like non-fiction. That's the surprising thing about it. It almost reads like a work of fiction, weirdly enough. If you don't know what In Cold Blood is about, it takes place in 1959 in this small Kansas town, and it's about this family, the Clutter family, who were brutally murdered by 2 ex-convicts. And Truman Capote so wonderfully researched, I think, because I think the book was written less than 10 years after the murders happened, so yeah, really well researched, just a really good narrative to it, very scary and frightening and realistic. You really feel like you're in there. At number 3, I have Mouse by Art Spiegelman, and I also read this for a college course. And if you don't know what Mouse is about, it is a graphic novel. It is a graphic memoir, as I think it's termed, as you can see in the inside. The author, Art Spiegelman, he wanted to document his father's life during the Holocaust. This is the product of that. And Art Spiegelman, he tells his father's story in a very interesting way by depicting everybody as animals. You have the Jews who are portrayed as being mice, you have the Nazis who are portrayed as being cats, and then I think like the Americans are portrayed as dogs. I want to say the Polish are portrayed as being pigs, and this is a truly masterful masterpiece, so heartbreaking from start to finish, a truly terrible story, really hard to get through on occasion, especially since it is done in the format of a graphic novel. At number 2, I have The Romanoff Sisters by Helen Rappaport, and as the title of this suggests, it focuses on the 4 Romanoff sisters of Tsar Nicholas II, and this is a truly amazing book, you guys. I love it so much. Kind of like In True Blood, this book almost has a fiction sort of narrative to it. Sometimes you don't really feel like you're reading nonfiction at all. And this book just explores the four Romanoff sisters from the time they're children, and then when they're teenagers, and then of course leading right on up to their brutal murders. So I gotta say, if you're a fan of the Romanov period, especially the last Russian Tsar, I definitely really highly recommend picking this up, especially if you want to see a different sort of perspective, because most nonfiction about the Romanovs either talks about like Rasputin or Nicholas and Alexandra, you know, just all those other big pivotal figures of the time. And yeah, I don't think we've ever gotten a book kind of solely focused on the sisters, and that's what this book does, just focuses on the sisters, gives them life, and breathes intelligence into them, and that they were ordinary teenage girls just like any other teenage girl. They had dreams and desires just like anybody else. And at number 1, I have Night by Elie Wiesel. Ooh, the first time I read this book, you guys, was in a high school class. It brought me to tears by the time I was done. I think this was probably one of the first Holocaust memoirs I had read. And this follows Elie Wiesel. He's giving his story and what happened to him during the Holocaust, and his time spent at a couple different concentration camps, which he somehow managed to survive. And the thing is, this is such a tiny book, you guys, such an incredibly tiny book. It's on my edition is only, it's like 109 pages, but so much happens in 109 pages, just so much terror and horror and fear. You definitely feel with Elie Wiesel during this whole journey, and like I said, it definitely brought me to tears by the end. So yeah, you guys, that's it for my personal 5 favorite nonfiction books. In the comments below, what are your favorite nonfiction reads? And maybe I'll go check them out. So that's it for this month's top 5. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you liked this top 5, you may like these other top 5s. Bye guys.